This is our podcast.
Wow.
You're on.
Hello, welcome to the first episode of the ampedpodcast. I don't know where to go from here.
I'm Evan.
I'm Evan. I already said that, but my name is Evan.
I don't know. Or do we have to share something
Your
about it? I
name.
feel like, well, I'm
Your
DJ.
My name is Evan, and one interesting fact about me, I didn't know where that was going.
You have to give an interesting fact now. Chekhov's gun.
That's our first topic. What is Chekhov's gun?
It's like when you introduce the gun to the audience, and they're like, the gun has to go off, or else people are disappointed, right? I'm dumb. I don't know if that's 100% what it is. Yeah.
That sounds exactly like
I
something
need to know what
that
I'm
would
saying.
be-
Yeah, exactly. Like if you bring in a gun, people expect it to be shot.
right.
If it's not shot, then
Can I look up a video?
people are going to be disappointed.
I don't know. Is that allowed?
We make the rules here.
So our first episode is about...
AI.
That stands for
Artificial
artificial intelligence.
We are talking about the movie from
I don't know why I'm
2001.
speaking like I'm
No.
on NPR.
I've only seen like the first 15 minutes, so
Hey,
it's only going to be like a 10-minute podcast and we're done.
You know a really good movie about AI? I think it's Transcendence with Johnny Depp. It's actually really bad,
wait,
but
what's
like
it called?
the Transcendent. I think it's.
I've heard of
I
that.
want to.
Yeah.
I want to see
I
Transcendent.
just remember seeing his face on the computer screen,
Yeah.
being like.
There's Ex Machina.
Yeah. Oh,
Ex Machina.
I haven't
I
seen
really
that.
like that.
I'd
Yeah, that's a
You
good
haven't seen
movie.
that movie?
No.
It has
That's a good
Oscar
movie.
Isaac in it,
Oh,
but he's
okay.
bald and he has a
Not
big
enough
bushy
nipples.
beard.
That makes no sense out of context.
Wait, what?
Oscar Isaac and his nipples.
Right.
We were watching. I think it was Annihilation, right?
Yeah.
In it, it
You want
shows
a
his
drink? It's
nipples,
good.
and then they go away, and we're like, "Oh, look, his nipples." That's pretty much it.
All right. This is an interesting video.
Welcome to the podcast where we watch videos.
Shoot, I just remembered like I
listen to us
can't
watch videos.
broadcast it through there.
This is the new level of reacting.
I can fit it in there. I'll put it in there.
That's what she said. You didn't even hear it, but thank you.
Okay.
Okay, on topic.
Yes.
It's your topic.
It's your talk.
Well,
This is
yeah.
your thing. So what are you gonna say?
AI, artificial intelligence. It's when technology gains awareness of its surroundings and it can think for itself.
Otherwise known as intelligence.
Yes.
So
The
does
ability-
Alexa count?
No,
Does what?
because every single thing that Alexa says is programmed
Yeah.
into Alexa. You say something that Alexa doesn't have programmed into her, she says, "I'm sorry.
That's true.
I don't know how to respond to that."
AI, this is a completely foreign concept to me. Can you
Yeah.
please explain more?
I feel like we should have had Alexa down here for this.
Ooh.
Who?
Alexa,
Who's
I
that?
have an echo right there.
what does it respond to?
Alexa,
I don't think it's plugged in.
but it's not plugged in.
Oh, makes sense.
Okay.
It's a good thing.
What's the closest thing to an AI that you can think of?
I thought you were just like your entire thing was like just AI, right?
No.
That's all you were gonna do.
No.
So you do have like
Go for
questions.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the question? Sorry. I'm not
What
very-
is the closest thing to AI that you can possibly think of that exists? What?
Do you guys remember? I think me and Matthew talked about this in like Representative. There was that Twitter account
Yeah.
that like
Yeah,
it was an
yeah.
AI,
Yeah.
but it like completely went racist.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it-
Yeah.
And it was like,
yeah, it was made by Microsoft. Wasn't
yeah.
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 Oh,
And it was supposed to be like a teenage girl, but it started like
It turned into like,
doing like
Hitler
Jewish
versus
like terms for like. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Imagine being on the team that like did the postmortem on that. Like they got to see everything that was put in, and they had to figure out where did we go wrong.
Yeah.
Where did we go wrong that made this robot
Yeah.
racist?
Yeah.
Step 0, you put it on the internet.
Yeah.
there you go. I think that's good for a step to all times. Okay, I just thought something. Would you consider like Coco the gorilla? I guess in a way, would you consider that artificial intelligence?
I mean,
It's a gorilla.
At that
it's
point,
like,
I
it's like organic life.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, was its intelligence like bestowed because of its ability to like communicate, or do you think that it was naturally?
I mean, you got.
Well,
you,
if go ahead.
You got two different kinds of things. You know, you got artificial intelligence, which is like programming things into a computer, and then you have Coco the gorilla, which I mean, I'm not seeing wires, you know, into the back of the brain.
But that assumes that artificial intelligence has to be electrical.
I'm not familiar with Coco the gorilla.
Yeah, me neither.
You know
what happened?
Basically, there was a lady, I believe, I don't remember when, maybe like the 1980s, 90s, whatever. She basically, I think it's been over the last like 40, 50 years, something. It's been a huge amount of time. Mm-hmm. But basically, she was like a researcher, and she adopted like a female gorilla and started teaching it like sign language and stuff. And I mean, I think it met like Oprah, and it met like seriously, it met Robin Williams.
She just taught it sign language?
Well, yeah, basically.
That's
but also, I mean, there was more to it. I mean, it showed that it had the ability to like communicate, right? And it had like emotions, right? Like when they told it, like, because she was really good. She was really good friends with Robin Williams, like as close as you can be. I mean, they're both hairy, so I mean, I don't know.
Robin Williams is a hairy guy.
Yeah, was.
He's a bear.
That's a topic today. How hairy Robin Williams is.
But to me, it's like saying like all babies are from
artificial.
It grew
up and it learned itself. It didn't have like circuitry involved and
what if we
some form of programming.
What if we created like a biological like host, like a blank slate, but like still has a human brain and all, but just has nothing inside, I guess.
So
and then
all it can really do is learn.
Yeah. Or I don't know where that was.
Something that makes.
I'm just saying, can you have a biological artificial intelligence?
That's a good question.
Well, I think it already had the ability to learn. It just
I that was just kind of what I was thinking at the moment, but I mean now.
Well, to me, it doesn't make any sense.
I'm gonna find a way to put this into the video,
okay.
But I have this video here. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but it's really interesting.
Okay, it's a 5-minute video.
No, I've just skipped it. I've just skipped ahead.
He's our tech genius here. He can skip videos.
I've skipped ahead.
That wasn't necessary.
What this robot did was they gave this robot legs.
Wow, that sounds dangerous.
Yeah, they gave it legs. These
arms?
Floppy little arms.
Isn't that how the Terminator begins?
These floppy little arms. And they also gave it the ability to know like what position its body in. But the only thing it doesn't know is how its arms are moving and where they are.
Ooh.
So what it does is through 16 cycles here, it learns how to walk.
Jeez.
And it's kind of freaky. It learns some strange...
Is it better than us?
And let's see what happened. This is work led by Josh Mongard, who was a Rolf Pfeiffer student before he came to my lab. So you can see the thread running through. And here's the robot doing forming hypotheses about what it is. You can see they're all wrong hypotheses, but they all make the cube tilt in the same way. So insofar as the robot knows, these are all valid hypotheses. This is the 8th out of 16 trials. It's beginning to realize that it has 4 limbs, but doesn't quite know how they're connected and where they're connected and so forth. And this is the 16th out of 16 interaction with the world. And it's pretty much figured that it has 4 limbs. The actual positions are a little bit inaccurate, but it's good enough that it can figure out a way to walk. Here's the robot figuring out a way of moving. I don't know if we can call it walking, but and here it is actually moving in reality. So we were hoping for a evil spidery walk, but instead we got this lame way of moving forward. But when you look at this robot, you have to remember that it was not programmed to move. It did not have a model of itself before it started, nor did it do trials of walking before this. So
isn't that interesting?
Wow.
Wow.
Pizza.
Oh,
it's out for delivery.
He's waiting for you right now.
Oh.
Do you not realize that?
Oh, go for it. Go for it.
Wait, you have the cash for tips.
It's out for delivery. Yeah.
You go do it.
Really?
Yeah. Well, because I already paid for most of it.
Go for it. Keep on talking.
Okay. Wow. Keep on talking.
Keep on talking.
It's one of the best.
That was weird.
Let's move that back down.
I don't know. Is he gonna like put something to where like they can see that?
Yeah. He said he would.
Okay.
Another thing about it is that
Are they gonna be able to see the Domino's tracker? Or?
That's a good question.
Our pizza is almost here.
Yeah. It says it's out for delivery.
I don't know. I feel like we can't really talk without him.
Yeah.
You know.
Let's just.
What do you make
Now we're
people
just
believe?
ammed.
Yeah.
And
Or
Ahmed.
mead.
Ahmed.
Ahmed.
So this is the time where you can go and
Deem.
get some popcorn or.
Cut this part out. You know.
Just
Or
cut
you
this
know.
part out.
Hi Parker. We love you.
I don't think he's gonna cut this. I don't know if he knows how.
He probably does.
He can download what's it called? Vegas Pro.
I think he does have
What
the
time is
Adobe
it?
Suite.
Adobe
time is it?
It's 8:38.
Wow. What an interesting podcast.
I'm sorry,
We're
I was
so
wrong, guys.
on topic.
We're just
Well, like I
waiting
said, I'm
for
kind of just waiting for
Yeah.
Parker. I feel bad. You
Yeah.
know. I don't know. AI doesn't make any sense to me though.
Really?
All of it just doesn't add up to me.
Why?
Because I'm dumb. Because I don't know what
Don't say
computers
that.
are about. So like I just don't get it. Like how can
What?
something?
Okay.
How can a computer?
This is on our next episode. What are computers about?
I just wanted him to tell me his opinion on Code What.
How to make a Gmail account.
Yeah.
How can
Dustin
this
Mike.
thing know what it's doing?
That's
I don't
the
know.
thing.
How can this thing know what it's doing?
That's the thing. It works more along the lines of. It doesn't really know what it's doing because if it knows what it's doing, it's conditioned to respond in certain ways.
Yeah.
And the thing is that it's you know how like Darwinism works, right? How it like evolution through varied through mutation, right? Things go wrong, and if 100 things go wrong, then after thousands of years, there's a chance something's going to go right, and then that's going to increase its survival, right? They basically, instead of giving it the incentive of survival, they give it like a point incentive or whatever. It wants to get to the certain point, right? And over time, it just tries stuff, and it looks at how far it gets, and it chooses that as its new basis, and then it changes like a bunch of other like mutations, basically, and then until it gets something that sort of works.
Yeah, just.
But it all in all, it doesn't know what it's doing, and if you apply it to a different situation, a lot of the time, it won't know what to do.
I don't know what I just stepped in on.
So what happened to this table?
What happened?
Yeah, why is it?
Oh,
like
AI
it just came with 3 legs.
it came with not enough legs.
Yeah.
Not.
I
Yeah.
don't believe you.
Out there was a filing cabinet underneath that edge. There.
Okay. Maybe,
You can move the boxes in if you want to scoot into the table a little more.
I'm just like, I'll sit like this.
You
This
can
is
shove the boxes in. Don't worry about it.
I don't want to collapse the table.
No, it won't collapse.
We are not sponsored by Domino's. Papa
No,
Murphy's,
we're not.
maybe.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Artificial intelligence.
Yeah, wasn't that kind of weird?
How
It was a little unsettling for me to see that video.
Yeah.
Just to see that something with limbs, not knowing where they were, or
That's disgusting.
It is.
I mean, all it really did was sit there and wiggle around a little bit, see how its body moved, and then he was able to be like, "Oh, my limbs are here."
Yeah, I
Well,
think
isn't
you
that
start
how
walking.
babies work?
Well, the
like
thing
they're
is-
like, oh, I have arms and I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know how to crawl. And then they learn how to crawl and then they learn how to walk.
Yeah.
So it was like a baby.
But there's still some like base instincts there with the child.
I mean,
Yeah,
to learn
exactly.
how
They
to
have
learn how to
eyes.
crawl in.
see
It was like a blind baby.
They see other
okay,
people
are
crawl,
you
they see their own
excluding-
limbs.
Excluding blind babies.
I gave him a $10 tip.
I'm sorry.
That's. Wow, are you flexing on our
I am.
viewers?
No, it's because I knew him.
Oh,
I
who
knew
was
him
it?
from high school.
How do
He was
blind
Hunter.
babies know how to crawl?
Hunter Trippett?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, not
Nick
Hunter
Fail?
Tripp. I wouldn't give him a $10 tip.
Oh,
he was nice to me.
sorry.
Maybe we should like just beep those names out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would
Let's
be very.
bleep that
We'll
out.
just cut it out. Cut it
Yeah.
out.
Sorry, it's just very funny because like there was one time I was very fixated on this for a long time, but I had a very vivid dream that involved him, and I had too much food, right?
Hear this first.
I'd eaten too much food, and he'd come up to me and he's like, "Hey Matthew, I need your help. I bought 3 pizzas and I can't eat all of these pizzas. Like, I need your help. I need you to eat some of those pizzas because like I'm going home and I can't take these pizzas with me because for some reason he couldn't take the pizzas with him." And I'm like, "Man, I'm sorry. I can't eat these pizzas. I'm really full. Like I can't eat the pizzas." And he's like, "Matthew, you have to eat these pizzas. I can't take these home. I don't want to waste my money." And I'm like, "I'm sorry. I can't eat your pizza, man." And he's like, it was really
So it's
bad.
an ethical dilemma.
Wow.
Do I eat the pizza?
Do you eat the pizza?
And, like, make myself suffer?
I think it depends on the person, you know?
Yeah, I don't know if I would do that for him.
Yeah, but if I came up to you and I was like, "Hey, Matthew."
I would eat maybe a couple, but then I'd be like, "I'm sorry, I can't eat any
No,
more than
your
this."
dead grandma. Is your grandma dead?
Okay.
My grandma is not dead.
Oh, well, your grandma dies. And then your
Okay,
dead grandma
so-
comes back.
Okay, so this back into AI. You brought up suffering.
What happens if you give an AI too much pizza?
Too much pizza.
And then try and give it more.
Oh, imagine
It has
like
AI diarrhea, of course.
you just give an AI all like
Diarrhea.
moral dilemmas, and that's how we fix all of our problems. It's just you put every moral dilemma like up to an AI, and it tells you what the actual answer is.
Yeah.
Like the train track problem. One
Yeah.
person or 5 people.
What do
Oh,
you
yeah.
do? Just put it into an AI. There you go. You get the answer.
What will it do?
I don't know. Derail the train.
I mean, either way, it's killing somebody.
Yeah.
1 life over 5, right?
No, see that's.
But then they add the thing where it's like, what if that one life is like your mom?
Yeah.
If that 1 life is my mom,
Then are you going to kill your mom and save 5 people? Or are you going
Yeah.
to kill 5 people to save your mom?
I would kill.
But I mean,
5
you could just
people.
pretend you didn't
I
know there
would.
was a lever there. You know, and your mom's
I
alive.
love my mom.
Yeah, but the ethical burden is still on you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, you know, like,
My parents
it's no
are watching
different than
this.
like
Yeah,
just stabbing
Yeah.
5 people.
Oh,
my
yeah.
parents are watching this. See.
Yeah.
Right now.
I'm saying you should save your mother.
No, I
and
don't.
kill
I don't
5
think you.
people.
I don't think
Yeah,
you
that's what I'm
understand.
saying.
Okay.
No,
Good.
I'd kill the 5
I think you
people.
assume
I'd
that
save
they're
my
watching
mom 'cause
through
I
the
love her.
podcast, but no, they're just over
Brownie
there.
points.
Just out of frame, just.
But like smart driving cars, you know, they're supposed to, when there's an inevitable accident, they're supposed to go for the one with the least amount of
Yeah.
damage.
Yeah, and that makes sense, right? Because it has the thing is that it has no emotional obligation, right?
It's
Yeah.
looking
So
for
if-
like a net
Exactly. Loss, right?
loss.
But the thing is
to
that
be
the
least.
reason we let it go on and kill the 5 people is because we don't want through our own action to do that. We don't want that burden of killing that one person to be on us, right? But an AI isn't going to have that problem. It's just going to make the mathematical decision, which I think outside like objective people will make.
I think you'd have more burden if you killed 5 people.
No, I think isn't the trolley problem? Isn't that because like it's going to kill the 5 people?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
so
already
you
going to,
switch
yeah.
it through your action that one person dies rather than through inaction 5 people dying. Like it's what you weigh more.
Inaction. I think inaction in that situation can be also action.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You
right?
chose not to switch it, so you killed those 5 people. Otherwise, if you did choose to switch it, you would have killed that one person. So in a way,
But then again,
But at the same
then
time-
again, I mean, you didn't put
Yeah,
that trolley there and send
according
it
to
to
the
people.
Supreme Court, you have no obligation.
I feel like if you don't watch it,
Wait, no,
then you shouldn't be
Is it that
guilty.
you do have an obligation? That isn't it like the Good Samaritan?
Well, what if
No, wait.
what if
Something else.
either
That's
way
something
somebody's
else,
gonna
yeah.
die? Are you gonna be put in jail no matter what?
I think the thing is that you have an obligation to help people unless it'll put yourself in harm's way or something like that, like legally. Or
What do you
something
think,
like that.
Gaff?
Like if someone's
I think if you're at a lever with that trolley, you probably have other reasons that you're in jail.
It is a weird.
yeah.
Good point.
Why are
Did
there
you see the
5?
camera gap?
Yeah. Why are there 5
Okay.
people like on this train track to begin with? Who are these 5 people?
I'm not here to answer that question. What I am here to ask is, there's a hair.
That's not a question.
What if it's like
That's a
5 people
statement,
with
I know
like
that.
life prison? Okay, this just got in philosophy. Never mind.
Yeah.
Do you think?
That's fine.
Do you think AI would naturally, in a sense,
Yes.
naturally be evil?
Well,
I don't know why don't you ask it?
I don't think it would be
It's
evil.
gonna be
I think it would just
I think
be.
AI
I
is
say
like
that.
a-
I
Okay.
say that. I have something to back that up. What is your opinion on Cleverbot?
you just really wanted to know.
I really
Cleverbot.
wanted to know.
Isn't that the chatbot, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about the chatbot. Okay.
Oh.
I don't think that's great. I once typed in a random answer and it said, "I love sushi too."
Yeah. Yeah.
So that kind of turned me off of Cleverbot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That kind of made me think this doesn't
Yeah,
seem
that's
that
better than
legit.
turn me off.
That's not what I meant.
I can talk on it.
I didn't
Go
realize
ahead.
it was him.
Off.
But oh crap, I was gonna say something.
Cleverbot, naturally evil.
Oh, naturally evil. I think the thing is that if we assume that it has that artificial intelligence, what are we assuming? Are we assuming that it has like? Because I mean, I know it's not exactly like airtight, but the Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences or whatever, where it's like people have like scientific, mathematical, logical, mathematical, or whatever it's called, intelligence. Some people have like natural intelligence, interpersonal, intrapersonal, right? I think when people say artificial intelligence, they're just thinking of like logical, mathematical, right? But there are other aspects to intelligence. I know, like the theory isn't airtight.
Do you guys think emotion is involved?
That's the thing. If we say that it has intelligence, does it have emotion?
So that
It
thing,
has-
when it was flopping around, was it also like...
God left me unfinished!
That was not artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
That was just a thing that
That
figured
was
out
just
how to
showing
walk.
how quickly
That was
artificial
deep,
intelligence
not
can
deep
learn.
learning. What's it called?
Well, to me, I feel like artificial...
Like programmed evolution. I don't remember. There's a term for
It's
it.
a
It
neural
has-
net.
What?
It's a neural net.
Yeah, but there's a certain.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that specifically isn't a neural net, but I mean, there's a it's. I don't remember. There's a term for it that includes the word evolution. I'll look it up.
So yeah, artificial intelligence could be like a dog, right?
Dog.
To me, that's how when you say like, is it gonna be evil? I mean, all my knowledge of artificial
it's-
intelligence
it's-
is
it's-
movies. So I think like, there's a movie called Chappie, and like that one, it like him.
Spoiler alert. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we're gonna have to bleep all of this
Oh
out.
no! Just put a time code. Skip to this part. You won't know what happens in Chappie. Don't worry.
There's spoilers for Chappie. I think about like multiple situations where AI went bad. Like there's this one movie I saw. I forgot what it was called. Like Eagle something. They made an AI and it turned evil.
Wow,
There's also Ex Machina, which, you know, the AI uses the people in a really creative and strange way to escape this facility and be on its own.
Well,
Or like kind of the original like Terminator even.
well, yeah, because I mean that's more interesting. Would you rather see it gain like human level intelligence and just want to like sit around and like eat
And
like,
make
eat
amazing discoveries.
Eat
and-
virtual potato chips on the virtual couch?
Do you think there'd really be a movie about that?
Exactly. Check and mate.
I feel like that could be Seth Rogen's next movie. You know.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like Ex Machina, where it's not gonna necessarily be evil. It just doesn't really have any empathy. It doesn't care what happens to others.
Yeah, I think in that situation, it pretended to have emotion.
Yeah, it knew how to manipulate for its own benefit. But
So what's that like sociopath?
Or it could go like
yes,
Portal
Exactly.
2. Or no, Portal 1. They make GLaDOS and she just kills everybody with neurotoxin immediately. I mean, do you think AI would be able to think that fast and come to a solution? What am I going to do? Am I going to try and kill everybody with like what I have, or am I going to help them? Or do they even have the ability to know that anybody's there and that they've been created by?
I think the evilness that comes from the idea of this technological singularity, right? Are you guys familiar?
Yeah.
Gaffer?
No.
No, basically, DJ, it's the idea that we're gonna, like, you know how we're gonna innovate to a point to where we finally get AI, we finally crack it, right? And it's able to reprogram itself more efficiently, so it's smarter. And once it gets smarter, it can reprogram itself more efficiently to where it's smarter. And at that point, you kind of have like exponential growth, and it just like transcends, intelligence. And the thing is that I don't think it's just gonna be like some crazy scientist sitting in a lab who just like hits a button and like all of a sudden there's like Ultron, TM. But I think we can approach like a controlled singularity. I don't think at that point it has to spiral out of control. I think we can put like safeguards around it, right? It's not like it's just gonna happen all of a sudden, right?
Like, but what if it were able to, like, I don't know. I feel like if we were to put like a dead switch in, like something we could hit, like turn off the
a power
artificial
cord.
intelligence.
We could put power cord.
Power cord.
Yeah. Just
Don't
don't
always
connect.
attach a 3-feet cable. Only
Just don't.
What kind of limitations would you have? No
Just-
access to the internet.
Exactly. That's an easy one.
No access to the internet.
The
and
thing
a power
is that
cord.
initially it can't bypass any physical.
No Bluetooth
boundaries.
abilities.
Well, I mean,
Therefore, it can't
first
connect
of all,
with
you'd have to
anything,
put it into
and
a cage.
Yeah, Faraday cage.
If it
Yeah.
turns out, I don't know. That's the thing, though. At that point, it'd be like, "Oh, I'm all good. I'm a good guy," and then you're like, "Okay, you know what? We can trust it."
Why do you assume it's sinister? Well, the thing is that with our
That's the thing. Assuming. That's what makes it dangerous.
Well, the thing is that in these movies, don't they always program this AI to have like save the world or something like that? Oh, I need to save the world by killing humans, right? So we control its like goal, right?
It's like a genie
Presumably.
where you give it a wish and then it gives you like
Well,
it kind of gives
is
you the
it
wish.
Robin Williams genie or is it Will Smith genie?
I was
How
about
does Robin Williams keep coming?
to like talk about that, but so you say like you have to give it a goal of some sort, right? And like, is the goal like you say, you know, artificial intelligence is something that thinks like a person, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, what's your goal in that case? I mean, there's a lot of different goals that you could go for, but you can't just program like, hey, think like a human. You know what I mean? You
that's
have to
true.
program it like some goal for it to go towards, like
What about,
making
like-
something more efficient.
Get a job.
Get a job. Sorry, that just
Or like go to school.
The damn AI taking all our jobs. We gotta build
Get a boat.
firewall. No, but I think one thing that yeah.
What was so funny?
That
I
was a
didn't get
good
it.
joke. That was a good joke.
The AI is taking all our jobs. We need to build a firewall.
Oh yeah.
it took me.
Oh wait,
Yeah, it took me
we're
too
ending
long.
on political.
Oh no!
No.
Oh no!
No politics.
I put up like a big warning sign.
Put another time code in,
Flashing.
just in case you don't want to know what happens in Chappie, or you don't want any political talk.
You don't
Just
wanna-
stay away.
There's no political
Yeah,
talk.
exactly.
No Chappie talk either. Don't worry.
But I think one thing that is
Cover all
sad
our bases.
is that we assume like
Go Chap.
I think like we live in a society, bottom check, that values intelligence, right? And that's kind of like our ultimate like thing, right? Doing what's most intelligent, right? And the sad thing is that in all of our movies and with our ideas of AI and Stephen Hawking and Elon Musk all saying, you know, the thing that's most intelligent is to get rid of us. I think that's sad. I feel like that means we're doing something kind of wrong.
I haven't heard that before.
I feel like it is a
Well,
bad idea.
The thing is that if AI is pitted against us, right, according to Elon Musk and Stephen Hawking, then
Do
that
you
means
think AI would know what's best in general?
exactly. But if what we're saying, the maximum intelligence we can create will call us like, oh, they suck.
We're the problem.
Yeah, exactly. Which means that I feel like we know that we're the problem. We're
Yeah.
kind of projecting that
So
onto
do you think
AI.
it's somewhat inevitable that if we create an AI and we're like, we need you to make the world a better place, do you think it'll turn against us?
Not
If you give it a
necessarily.
command and say, we want you to make the world a better place, will it, without telling us, kill us to fulfill that command?
I don't think it'll even have to fulfill the command, first of all, if it's an intelligence. And second of all, I mean, we have I don't think intelligence necessarily mean... I mean, if it's super intelligent, then it has to be able to find a compromise, right? And then again, we can't just give it the parameter of make the world a better place. Does that mean destroying all life and just like geologically making it better? Does it mean technologically advancing our society? Does it mean, you know, saving the trees or
All the above.
the honeybees? Or...
Well, why do we just assume that AI will fix all our problems? Why do we have to give it a reason to do? Why can't we just make it and, like I said, like give it something simple? Be like, oh, order a pizza. Your job is to just order a pizza.
Well, if they went through what we went through, I don't even think it could do that.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah, that was difficult.
Yeah, I know. Come on, Domino's, you need to get on that.
Your pizza's great, though.
I mean, it's a little too garlicky for me sometimes.
It was
like
a
the
little,
burps
Yeah,
it
afterwards.
was a
That's
little
fair.
greasy.
But it's
Yeah.
still good, you know.
8 out of 10.
Let's
I mean,
program-
I was,
Did
I
you
was gonna
add
give it a
extra
7,
cheese?
to be honest.
Was it supposed to? What?
I was gonna give it a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10?
Yeah.
I'll
6.
compromise at 6.5.
Papa Murphy's though. It's good.
Ooh,
Baked
Papa
egg
Murphy's.
or
You
something.
know,
I'm
my
gonna
favorite.
only touch thumb parts because I have
My favorite pizza in the world is
Greasy
Winco.
hands.
They have the best pizza.
I've never
Winco?
had that
Winco.
pizza.
It's my favorite pizza.
You ever had a? I really like Little Caesars.
Little Caesars is good, but I
Gonna
don't
have
like
to
the
cut that
best.
With what more burp sounds? Oh, just cut it out completely.
Yeah.
Censor it.
Cut it out with that.
Let's Evan, let's program a computer to order a pizza. How do we get it to do that?
Let's talk about the moon landing and how it's real.
Man, what a controversial opinion, Parker. God.
Hey, no moon landing, no politics, no Chappie, okay?
Yeah. We need to like start writing these down.
Rules of the Amped podcast.
We're so amped.
Amped up.
Yeah, we like the drink Amp.
No.
I've never had it.
Neither have I.
Is that a drink?
It's an energy drink.
See, I
It
don't.
gets you amped
That's where you
Grew up
lost
in
me.
So AI.
Yeah.
Aye.
Well, no, because basically what I was just like alluding towards with programming.
Wait, real quick question. In Spanish, is it like IA? Inteligencia artificiale. I don't know. No, sorry,
probably-
Inteligencia de artificiales.
You probably totally butchered that.
I don't know. I don't know
I
either. of
probably
the
did
words.
as well.
You
Yeah.
probably did as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. But
I just said what I think it sounded like.
Artificio. That's gonna mean like toilet in Spanish or something.
what is in there?
What were you gonna say now, Matthew? I'm passing the speaking baton to Val.
Thank
to
you,
the,
thank you.
To
The
Val.
mic's right here.
Oh.
But no, what I was like trying to allude to was like if you program a computer to order a pizza, like how do you get it to order a pizza? Like how do you coax a computer into ordering a pizza? What I mean by that
I
is
feel like
You
if all you
coax
want
it.
to do is order a pizza, then it's not an AI.
well, no. I think that ordering a
Well,
pizza
okay, I
is
think
a
that-
perfectly okay.
I think
like,
that's- I think
goal.
you have to. You
I
have
think
to
that's a good-
score the pizza.
Yeah,
when it
exactly.
arrives,
I think that's
and
a
the
good.
AI is going for the best score.
Oh,
Yeah. Well,
that's a
yeah, I think that's a good. I think that's a good.
You have to have some
analog.
sort of metric.
I think that's a good analog for
know
like
whether
solving
it's-
our medical problems or our political problems, right? Ordering a pizza. I mean, it's not that far. Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
But like I said, why
test
does
it out on a pizza? I mean,
yeah, exactly. I mean, if we just think about that, it'll be simpler. To
I mean,
conclusions.
like, so if the end goal is ordering a pizza, right?
Mhm.
Let's say the computer gets one good boy point for like getting the pizza to the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How does it get from a computer to getting a good boy point for ordering a pizza? You know what I mean? How do you like? Okay, so you got to the point where you called the pizza place. Like,
Mhm.
okay, good job. Like, do we give it points for that? You know, what's
Or-
the in between
or
point
through
between
mu-
having nothing and having
Yeah,
a pizza?
Through mutation, does it randomly select Domino's?
Exactly.
So it would call literally everybody else on Earth before getting to Domino's.
Exactly. What
Yeah.
what are the little stopping points
Yeah,
between
and,
nothing and a pizza?
yeah, exactly. Because I mean, you couldn't convince a baby to order a pizza.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
With no other knowledge, you'd have to feed it something, right?
Yeah.
And all the simulation that we watched that was edited into your video by Mr.
Me.
P over here.
mommy?
By the P of the damn.
Mommy.
And I guess my point, like being that way, is that you have to put little little
exactly.
stopping points
And you have to
for
give it
ordering a pizza. So if you want to say, please save all of humanity, you're gonna have to put little stopping points
Yeah,
there as
that's
well,
it.
and that's gonna be influenced by
And
somebody's.
Also,
like,
I think it's
worldview.
a bit much to say that I feel like by the time we get to actual artificial intelligence, I don't think we can incentivize it with good boy points anymore. I don't think we can just get it to say, hey, get to this maximum.
You know what?
get
If
a
good boy points is
Yeah.
all that it's known,
Yeah, can you do the tricks?
it might love good boy
Bribe
points.
it with
Yeah,
good
that's
boy
fair.
points.
Yeah.
Scooby snacks.
Well, yeah, it's like give a kid $5, then they'll do something.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not like, I mean, well,
Okay.
that's
to be fair,
assuming.
to be fair, we like through like the Pavlovian responses, right?
Hey,
we
yeah.
we incentivize things and we condition things through. Oh yeah, that was DJ. Yeah, we incentivize things through, like primitive and through instinct, right? Because I mean, like people naturally like chocolate because of their biology, because of like thousands, millions of years of condition. I know chocolate isn't a good example in that situation.
No, I
but-
love chocolate.
No,
We
I
can
mean
talk
just
more about
I'm
chocolate.
just saying sweet things.
Welcome
okay?
to the chocolate cast.
Where we talk about chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah.
This week we're talking about dark chocolate.
Oh man. But the thing is
Nuts or
that
donuts?
how do we incentivize a computer,
Yeah, good boy points. That's what I mean.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, why does it want
Threaten it
good boy
with death.
So we can buy
points?
some.
If it doesn't get good boy points, we turn it off.
Well, no.
I mean,
And he doesn't
the
want to
thing-
be off.
The thing is that it's an artificial intelligence. Does it have a need to survive?
Does
because
it-
we have a need to survive to reproduce.
Well, does it
right?
have wants, or like does it have things that it wants? Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
the thing is that programmed into it, like inherently, if it's going to learn, it's going to want to get better, right?
Yeah. But how do we do that?
How do we tell it to want to get better?
How do we program something as primal and something so deep and like our human psyche as desire?
You don't really need to.
If then.
You just give it the bigger the points, the like. I mean, you're
If
talking
want,
about
then
generational systems where like
Yeah.
it evolves over time, right? Obviously, the ones with the highest number of points get bumped up a generation, and they get
That's right.
the most influence on the next generation. So, I mean, just through choice and like taking out
Yeah.
the ones with lower points, obviously,
Yeah.
AI with higher like point values are going to get.
I think we're kind of regressing from artificial intelligence, though. This is more towards like just a basic neural net. At this
Oh
point.
yeah, I know. This is like probably a little not technical, but just
Yeah.
a little more on
Gaffer, what are your thoughts?
that side.
I think
Oh, by the way, for our first-time viewers,
Just talk with your normal voice.
which is everybody, we refer to Alex as Gaffield.
that's not
That
because
is
it's my last name.
Gaffield.
Don't spell it.
Not Garfield, as in.
It's not because
Garfield the
that's his
cat.
last name.
No,
It's not. It's not. It's because
It's
I
his
hate
middle name.
Mondays
His middle
and
name.
the letter R.
Yeah.
All right.
Also,
And we call me DJ because I'm a killer with the tracks.
His name is Dustin.
They got me. And we call him Parker. I mean,
Because he's really good at parking
Yeah, and we call
cars.
him Matthew.
When I was a
Because
kid,
Because he's really good at
You know
math.
And
my
they call
name
me
was?
Evan because I'm really good.
You know my-
at
you
driving.
know what my name was when I was
you
a
asked
kid?
me a question.
Oh, wait. For our first-time viewers, this is what Parker was called when he was a kid.
Porker.
Thank you very much.
I
This
barely
has been
know her.
Anton. Hey ho!
Whoa!
That was good, Parker. I barely know. That was like that right there. A DJ has just peaked.
Bye, guys.
everything is downhill from here.
He just gets dusted. He just evaporates.
I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark.
Spoiler.
No Avengers talk.
Hey Parker, when you're editing this, I don't know what time it is, but timestamp it.
Right now?
That's what they do when they timestamp, right?
Timestamp.
Why you gonna clap so loud?
Because you guys have big hands, big old man hands. Your hands are
For our first-time viewers, which is everybody, DJ has old man hands.
Doing
They
that first
seriously-
time viewers. Nobody's probably gonna watch this.
I like
This
your
is
tone.
for our own sake. I mean, this is fun.
This is very
We're
fun.
having fun, yeah. We're having fun.
I don't like AI. I've decided that.
Yeah,
don't
I
like
don't
it?
know if we'll ever.
I don't
really
like it.
get
I don't think-
there.
What if AI cures cancer?
What if a human cures cancer?
What if AI cures cancer and then,
Then
you
again-
get like melanoma?
But then we're getting
behind
into
your
what
ear?
ifs.
Then
and
again,
what does that matter?
We're assuming that artificial intelligence.
Because it's fun.
We're assuming that
That's true.
I think the problem is that our fears are that it approaches a singularity, right? What if we don't give it that and we restrict it to certain knowledge, right? Like if we wanted to cure cancer, we can give it like medical intelligence, right? But not an ability to reprogram itself.
I don't have any words for that. My brain has gone completely blank.
Just like give it access to WebMD.
I think we went too smart for our first episode.
You have lupus.
Everybody has cancer. You were just cured.
We can transition into anything else.
Okay. We should have a transition noise.
Nice. And next, we talk about
Things like I
Andrew
don't know.
Jackson.
Yes.
You guys want to know about Andrew Jackson? Because I read a lot about him.
Yes.
this week,
Go
and
ahead.
it's
I want to
so
hear. I
interesting.
want to hear about Andrew.
I know this is
Jackson.
a complete 180 from AI, but it's actually so interesting. I've been wanting to talk about it.
I have like a little bit of knowledge.
It's
of
one
Andrew
letter
Jackson.
off.
Exactly. We went to the next
Go
one.
ahead, I want to hear.
Okay, so Andrew
Next one
Jackson.
is 8K.
Uh-oh.
Alicia Keys!
Okay, so Andrew Jackson was a straight G. Like, for real, he's the most gangster person I've ever read about.
Okay.
How so?
He was in... So it's wonky because it was the olden times, right? So he was in, like... it was the olden times.
That's how they should start every history check.
Hey, so this whole book is like wonky because, you know, it's the olden times.
I would read that, honestly.
So, like, they said he was in... This is all about duels. Everything I want to talk about is about duels.
Oh, yeah.
Gun battles, gun duels, all that.
Gundam.
Next episode is about anime.
No. No.
No anime, no politics, no chappy. What was the other one?
No Infinity War.
No Infinity.
No Infinity War.
So apparently also some background that I learned as well. They would have a second. When you would go into a duel in this time period, you would have a second, which is like your hype man. He'd always be there. They would make sure like no one got shot. They'd make sure everything was going right.
No one got shot. What?
Like, you know, there's people watching. It's like a school
Okay.
fight. There's like all people all around.
Okay.
The point is to get
But
shot.
also,
You mean that?
no, the point wasn't to get shot. The point, most gun duels, I don't know why I keep saying gun duels. That's not, I'm just going to say duel. I just feel weird saying duel. That's a weird word. So most duels were, they would basically just shoot near each other. And like, as like a move of being like, are you a coward? Boom, boom, boom. No, you're not. That's how it
There's
works.
that one dick who actually shot someone.
Exactly, yeah, but like sometimes it would be like that, like Aaron Burr and Alexander Hamilton. You know, like, you know, one of them died. I'm the damn fool that shot him. You know?
Yeah. Just
It's a good time.
All right.
I like you, Evan. Don't worry.
worry.
Oh yeah, we might get copyrighted now.
Oh, yeah. TM.
So there was three guns, three duels that was like major. That's true. I might not be in there. Now I gotta land it on my feet.
No, that's what he said. Close enough. Yeah.
So Andrew Jackson was in from either 10 to 100 duels in his life.
Really?
That's why I say it's wonky, because they don't know. They don't know if it was 10. They don't know if it was 100. It's somewhere in between there.
In between 1 and
100.
10 times the amount.
Yeah.
Dang.
So that's how many he was possibly in. So he could have just been in 10, but he could have been in 100. But there's 3 ones that I read about. The first one wasn't that interesting. I'm gonna be honest. It was kind of boring. And the second one was like this guy and another guy. Well, like Andrew Jackson and then this guy, and they hated each other for a long time. I don't remember. It was like a few days ago. I don't remember it all. You know, I was on the bus when I was reading.
Still
it.
alive?
No. So like they met and like this, they were gonna meet in this area to do their duel, and then Andrew Jackson was super late, so the guy left because he was like, "Oh, no duel today, time to pack it up and go home." And they met each other. they ran into each other because Andrew Jackson was just late, and so they just ran into each other. And they were like, "Okay, we're gonna have the duel here now."
Wait, how far away from the original site was it?
I don't know.
I want to believe there was like miles away, just like passing
And
by the
then
street.
they got off because they were like, "We're gonna duel now." And then the guy's horse, the other guy, his horse and all his weapons on the horse ran away.
Oh.
So he was left with
no.
nothing. And I was reading this and I was like, at this moment, Andrew Jackson's just gonna shoot him in the head and walk the other way. But instead, it's a lot more comical. It's a lot more like Looney Tunes. I feel like he just started chasing him, like they were running.
What?
So I imagine.
Wait,
So,
so
like-
wait, Andrew Jackson was chasing the other guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I imagine it like there's like that music like
Yeah, I can
and
exactly-
they're like running in circles. Yeah. And they're just like running in circles like oh. But yeah, apparently they just ended up becoming friends in the end.
They became. I imagine like this. They're chasing after each other. They start to slow down, and then they just kind of fall on each other, like panting. They have a nice like heart to heart.
It's a romantic comedy.
It's the start of a love story.
Yeah,
And then the
exactly.
most interesting one was against Ernest Hemingway.
And himself.
Wait.
That's his
soon?
name, right?
Too soon?
That's his name, right? I'm pretty sure that's.
No, Ernest Hemingway. He was a author.
Who was
He's
it?
an author.
It was like an Ernest something or a Hemingway
he did not-
something.
Wait, you're saying
Let me look it up.
That would be
Jackson
so
doing-
funny. I don't.
that's like.
Let me look it
epic
up.
rap
I'm
battle
really
with
dumb.
Hemingway.
Though, right? By the time Ernest Hemingway was like old enough.
Oh yeah, Ernest Hemingway was like like 1900s, like
That's what I
early
thought, yeah.
1900s.
That's
Actually,
why I'm
yeah.
like
Charles
Andrew Jackson would
Dickinson.
have to be.
Charles Dickens. It's like Emily Dickinson and Charles Dickens like had a kid.
I just imagine.
So
like,
Charles Dickinson.
80
I don't know
year-old
how I got
Andrew
those names mixed up. I'm really dumb.
Ernest.
Ernest.
He told himself.
Charles
He
Dickinson. So basically, Charles Dickinson was like a killer marksman. He was really good at it. Killer, I barely know her. And they like hated each other.
Decent. I'll give you half high. Oh, that was a full one.
Good thing I
Get
get
half
shock
my
absorber on my new microphone, right?
Yeah.
So
Table.
like Andrew Jackson, like they hated each other over horse betting. This was what this whole duel was over, was horse betting.
Like
He,
a horse race.
what's his name? Not Ernest Hemingway.
Andrew Jackson.
Charles Dickinson.
Oh, yeah.
Charles Dickinson was like, "Hey, you're fixing the horse bets," because they both owned horses and they wanted their horses to win. And so Charles Dickinson was all like, "Hey, you're fixing horse bets," and he's like, "Hey, did you just call me a liar? We're gonna duel."
Wait, how do you fix a horse bet?
I don't know.
Like, I mean, it's pretty obvious. I mean, which one crosses the line?
Let's just say he did it
you
somehow.
can't tell it
Yeah.
to like throw the race.
Continue.
I don't know.
You
So
don't feed some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna duel." And so Andrew Jackson wore a giant coat, a giant black coat, and it's so smart. It's like Batman. Get ready for
Did
this.
Batman
He
win?
wore it because he didn't want, because he knew the guy was like, he's really good at shooting guns.
Yeah.
He can shoot me real fast.
Oh.
So he wore it to kind of like make it where like he couldn't tell where his heart or like his body started or ended. And I was like, that makes so much sense why Batman has a cape now, because Batman has this big old wingspan and you're not going to know where to shoot. You're not going to know where the guy is. You're only going to know
Maybe in
there's
the
this big
night.
shape that I'm shooting at.
I guess that's fair.
I
yeah.
feel like it makes sense why Batman has a cape now.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. In the night.
Andrew Jackson
If
is the
the-
reason
yeah.
Batman has a cape. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah. And that's where we're ending
Batman
today's
is
episode.
Andrew Jackson.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, and he was like, so he came in there with the big coat. He was like, okay, so if he shoots me, he has less of a chance of like killing me because he's not going to really know what's
Yeah,
what.
That's
And
fair.
he also was like, I'm going to let him shoot first. Because
Okay.
he's going to want to kind of shoot like faster because he's going to expect Andrew Jackson to shoot. But instead, Andrew Jackson was like, I'm going to give him the time. I'm going to set up my shot and let him shoot me.
It would really suck if he just like wasn't fooled by a big coat.
Charles Dickinson shot Andrew Jackson 1 inch from the heart.
Really?
1 inch.
Jeez.
And when he shot the gun, everyone that was watching thought Charles Dickinson missed. Because Andrew Jackson didn't move an inch.
Such a,
He's such a badass. He got shot 1 inch from the heart. And he was just like, it's like I didn't even get shot. And then he shoots the guy in the stomach. And Charles Dickinson dies like 6 hours later. And this was all.
Wait, why didn't Andrew Jackson also die? If one got shot in the stomach and one got shot in the
It said
heart.
that it like affected him for the rest of his life, but he didn't
Okay.
die.
Okay, that's fair. I have read that getting shot isn't like nearly as bad as it's like people.
It's not always lethal.
Yeah,
That's
they
pretty
like the thing
obvious.
is that they don't like realize it at first. Like sometimes like you can go
Uh-huh.
20 minutes and be like, oh, why am I bleeding so much?
I had-
Like it feels like.
Oh, I thought you meant like at first, like, oh, it's so quick they won't even realize they were shot. Like they'll look down and be like, oh, about 20 minutes.
No, like well before they not 20 minutes, but I mean like they don't really feel it
Yeah.
because they don't know. Like they feel like they've been like hit by something like a golf ball, but
Yeah, like
and there's
it's-
like a burning pain. But
Just don't think about it.
It just
and
does-
you'll be fine.
yeah, they don't think like, oh, I'm gonna die.
I had to look this up to make sure that I was correct in saying this. So the thing about Andrew Jackson is there was also an assassination attempt, right?
Mm,
Do you guys know about this?
no.
So some guy tried to assassinate Andrew Jackson. He pulled out a pistol. Like he was I think he was giving a speech, and this guy pops out of the crowd. He pulls a pistol and he shoots it, and it misfires. He pulls out another pistol. He shoots it, and it misfires. And Andrew Jackson is just like, "Why are you doing this?" And you know what he does? He beats the shit out of this guy with a cane.
I feel
This
like
old Andrew Jackson is beating this guy with a cane after he just almost got assassinated twice.
I feel like this. First off, good on him for having a backup pistol.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? This might not be enough. Let me get another one just in case. But second of all, I mean, like, that's what happens when you invest, like, all of your stats at, like, the beginning of the game in luck. Like, seriously. Yeah. And again, getting shot 1 inch from the chest.
Yeah.
Like, he is a genius.
Oh.
I don't know.
Evidently, Davy Crockett also was there, and he restrained the guy who tried to assassinate.
Davy Crockett, of
Jackson.
course. Like this is the most like epic crossover in history.
Epic History. You guys ever heard of Epic History? It's a podcast.
I've heard epic rap battles.
We can't talk about other podcasts on this podcast.
Well, no, I'll talk about something that another
We have to talk about
podcast
ads first.
taught
Yeah.
me. Epic History. It's this guy. It's like a 3-hour-long podcast, and this one's about the World Wars. And he's able to bring it down, bring like the reason for the World Wars. He's able to bring it down to one guy.
Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
No,
Yeah.
it's not one guy. It's the driver. It's the driver's fault. Because the reason, Archduke was going through, and I think it was the Serbians that didn't want them there.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
There was some Serbian cult that was trying to kill him.
Yeah.
All these people were trying to kill the Archduke. They gathered on this street that they were kind of parading through.
What was his name? It was something like Giovanni Giovannes. Or
Yeah,
something like that.
something like that. What happened was they were heading through the town. They were heading through wherever they were heading through. I don't really know where it was, but they had a lot of people on that street, and they all wanted to kill the Archduke.
Mhm.
One of them actually threw a bomb at his car. Not his car, because they were pulled by horses. It landed underneath it, but it didn't blow up until the next car went over, which caused the parade to be like, we all have to leave. A bomb went off. Everybody runs away. All of the Serbian people that were trying to kill him, they all run away in different directions. That one guy who threw the bomb, what he did is he was like, okay, I'm going to take a cyanide pill. I'm going to jump in the river, and I'm going to drown.
Yeah, I've heard of this.
But what happened was, because he was being chased down by police,
He kept his Tylenol in the same pocket.
No. It's kind of like that. What happened?
What?
No, not really like that, but it's almost just as humiliating. The police, they saw him throw the bomb. They chased him. What happened was he swallowed the cyanide pill, and then he jumped into the river, but the river turned out to be like only a foot deep. He fell on his face in the river, and then he got up, and all the cyanide pill did was make him throw up. So he's this guy.
Like, imagine being the police, just watching this, how deep that water is. You live there, right? And you see this guy just jump in this, basically like a koi pond, fall on his face, and then just proceed to just puke everywhere.
Yeah. So that's what happened.
Sounds like a normal Thursday night to me.
He was arrested.
Yeah.
And he was I don't know if he was executed or something like that, but he obviously killed someone.
Tried as a witch.
Yeah, I looked up his name. I was completely off. It's Gavrilo Princip.
Oh yeah.
But
well, that man.
Yeah.
That man. After everybody dispersed, everybody was running away. He was walking away, trying to not look suspicious. Mm-hmm. And since the parade was so chaotic after that bomb went off, the driver who was driving the Archduke, he took a wrong turn. And as that guy, that assassination man, the one who shot him, he was just standing on a street corner. And what happened was, since the driver took a wrong turn, they drove up right in front of him, and they stopped to find out where they were, and there was the Archduke.
Yeah,
right there in front
who
of
were
them.
they trying to kill, though, in the end?
The Archduke.
Okay, and they ended up still killing. Okay.
They ended up killing him.
Yeah, I know.
It went all wrong, but then it went just right.
Yeah.
He
That's
ended
insane.
up right in front of him in the
I still
car
don't know
there,
if it's
and
the
what
driver's
he
fault.
pulled
I
out
still
his
feel
gun.
like it's Gavrilo's fault. I mean,
Really?
well, I mean, like, it's not like.
Well, yeah. If they didn't have,
You're not gonna be like,
if
well,
they,
it's
if they
definitely
didn't,
driver.
if they didn't have the want
Yeah,
to kill him, then
yeah.
it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
But it was that mistake that he made that kind of led it
That's
to
fair, yeah. There's this
him
article.
stopping
It's
right in
interesting.
front of him,
There's
Yeah.
this.
and he just
The world is just
killed him and his wife.
Final Destination, you know?
I just love.
Like,
There's a reason for everything.
yeah, like,
Isn't that
I
like
do want to
determinism?
say Final Destination for its own
Determinism?
I
episode.
think so. Something like
'Cause I think it's so interesting.
Absolutely.
I've not seen anything.
Okay.
I
Speaking
think
of,
we need to all watch at least one
What?
should.
One what?
Final Destination. There's 5 of us. There's 5 movies.
I've seen Final
We all-
Destination.
we all watched it.
wait, before the topic changes too much, there's this, The Onion, right? The satirical.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's
Of
this
course.
one World War I like fake newspaper that I just think is hilarious. It says, War declared by all. Austria declares war on Serbia, declares war on Germany, declares war on France, declares war on Turkey, declares war on Russia, declares war on Bulgaria, declares war on Britain. Ottoman Empire almost declares war on itself. Nations struggle to remember allies. Now the entire article is great. I'm just going to read the headlines. Assassination of Archduke spreads fear at Archduke convention. Area drunkard declares war on Ireland. It's great.
There was one that I really liked. I'm gonna see if I
The
can
convention, held yearly since 1421, gives archdukes of diverse backgrounds an opportunity to get acquainted, exchange archduke ideas, and purchase special archduke-only notions and effects. NASA catches glimpse of hard-charging Curiosity rover just before InSight's communications go dark. Oh, that's nice.
You got the little Curiosity rover charging at him.
Yeah, that's cute. Oh. I didn't know they were that. I didn't know they were that.
I think the
close.
concept of that is so funny. Curiosity rover hunting down the Opportunity rover just to kill it.
Yeah.
I am the one and only rover.
Wait, so InSight never. I thought. Did it not?
InSight?
Is it still going?
InSight is still going.
Oh, okay. Wait.
Oh no, Opportunity.
Oh,
that's
really?
the old solar array one. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The reason it kind of failed a little bit is because the solar arrays got covered in dust.
That makes sense. I mean, I feel like a good windshield wiper will solve that problem.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they didn't think of that, but
They probably did.
Curiosity is still
I think
going.
they
Curiosity uses a radioisotope thermoelectric generator, which I know a lot
This
about.
right here, this is Parker flexing off his big boy science muscles.
No, I only know what it's called. I don't really know how it works. I just know it has plutonium in it.
Somebody has a big dick, am I right?
Anyways,
Sorry.
what was I just talking about? InSight is stationary. No, it doesn't move. Sadly,
It just spins around.
but it does go down.
Just like Matthew's mom!
Whoa! Wow, that was really good. I gotta give you that one, man.
That was so big. That was really big. Why is your hand so moist? Have you seen, like it's slipping
Have
out.
you heard of
It's just slipping. I feel gross.
Oh, whoa!
Wait, wipe the mic so the viewers at home can feel it.
I don't want to wipe Parker's mic.
Yeah.
Parker, can I wipe your mic?
Wipe that mic.
People just see their like.
It's the new name of the podcast.
I've
Is
got a
Wipe the
little bit
mic.
of Matthew sticking here with me. Anyways,
Liquid just comes out of the speakers.
So Andrew Jackson.
I throw black liquid all over
Yeah.
the table.
something I really
Just
like.
jumped all over the floor.
Remember that video Mr. Bennett would show us?
The
The one of the rover?
oh, I was
Seven-
thinking.
the 7 minutes
What was
of
it,
terror.
Captain? It was not Captain Kite. No, it was like something.
What
Kaboodle.
happened in it?
No, it was the. No matter where you go, there you are.
Oh,
Like, Buckaroo Banzai.
Buckaroo Banzai,
Yeah.
right.
Okay, but what were we
No
saying?
matter where you go, there you are.
Yeah.
That video was especially weird because the context was all wacky. He's talking to this girl in the crowd that's crying.
Who is? Oh, the Buckaroo Banzai.
Yeah.
Okay, what were we saying before?
7 minutes of terror. When they're sending rovers to...
That's what happens when I get to go back to my place. That wasn't even good. I don't know
I'm
why
just here to
people-
high five
I
Evan.
I hope
honestly,
Mike picked that up.
honestly, I feel like my jokes are just like going downhill because I'm trying too hard at this point.
Oh, they always have.
Oh, man,
Like, ever since I met you.
it's just bottomed out. I can't
Yeah,
get
it's
it.
not
Trying
like a
too
daily
hard.
thing. Like your jokes are good. It's just like if it were like a timeline of how long I've
It
met
would
you,
just be a
it would be
flat
like this.
line. Yeah.
It's going down.
I think my jokes are going
you
up
need to
right
do
now.
it this way so the viewers at home can see. Yeah, there you go.
I think
feel
I'm
like
getting
you could-
funnier by the day. I'm gonna be honest.
At one point,
I'm
you're
at
gonna-
two
That's what-
miles
that's
an
what
hour.
an
point, you're-
unfunny person
At
would
one point, you're gonna
say.
reach like an addition overflow, like your brain just can't compute, so it just like
What's that called?
flip-
The Dunning-Kruger effect.
Yeah,
I
so
made a
it-
really
so
good
it
joke
just,
about
like,
Susan
flips
Boyle the
negative.
other day.
What was it? Does it have to do with hot temperatures?
No. Susan Boyle. Does anybody know who Susan Boyle is?
Yeah, isn't she the? I'm a singer. I was on America's Got Talent.
She was
I'm a
on
singer.
Britain's Got
I'm
Talent.
bringing Britain's Got Talent.
But she is a really good singer, but she's real uggy.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Apologies to Susan Boyle.
Whoa.
But it's like it's one of those like underdog stories.
Yeah.
Like
Uggy.
wow,
Wow,
just because you're
ugly.
uggy doesn't
Okay.
uggy.
I
For the viewers at home,
So
Uggy is a colloquialism for ugly.
Yeah.
Proceed.
So, we were watching because America's Got Talent just came back. Welcome to the AGT cast. We talk about America's Got Talent, but they're bringing back all like the big people from all the shows, and so she was on it. If you look her up, especially that performance, she looks like the whole time she's singing, she's smelling in the worst fart.
Really?
Like she looks constantly like she's just like, I just ripped one on stage and it's awful.
There, we need to screen cap that.
I'll get that.
Yeah. Okay, so what's the joke?
So she's smelling. This looks like he's.
Oh, really? Oh.
It's funny.
Whoa! Whoa!
No, it was funny. I just didn't. I thought it was like a joke in terms of like there's a punchline or a punch.
No, that was the whole bunch.
Okay.
Oh wait, I thought of something funny today. Now I'm just talking about all the weird things I think about.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about the first knock knock joke. The first person to ever tell a knock knock joke, it must have been the most awkward experience in the world. Because they would have went up to us and they'd been like, knock knock. And the person would have been like,
you were in the shower when you thought about this, right?
I was at work.
Okay.
They would have been like,
at work.
they would have been like, knock knock to the person, and then the person would have been like, what are you doing? Like, yeah. And so then he would have been like, now you have to say who's there.
Imagine, if you will, a door. Knock, knock. Will you answer it?
Ready? Knock, knock. Who's there?
I feel like he probably just came. Yeah, he had to have come up with the entire thing himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think that, like, you know how like words evolve and like phrases evolve? Do you think that knock knock, like, because that's a like, why did the chicken cross the road? Like, that's such, like, is like it had that. Did that evolve, or did it like
knock knock jokes exist in other languages? We should ask the one.
Rock, paper, scissors does.
nuku nuku?
Nuku nuku.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking what knock might be in language.
An Asian accent?
I don't know. I was
Honk honk.
okay. I don't know if you ever knew this, but I mean, we were at a knowledge bowl tournament once, and like it was Matthew and I were actually competing, and Garfield and DJ were alternates.
I wasn't knowledgeable.
Yeah, they were alternates, and we get done with everything we do. Average, we're okay. We're kind of tired. We're going home. And we look back at the end once we've done our competing and DJ is just beaming. He's just like he seemed, I don't know, like honestly he seemed like he could give like anybody just a fat wet kiss. But honestly he was so happy, he was laughing. And
it still makes me so happy.
He had this, I think it was like a napkin or like a piece of paper or something, and there were like a bunch of like, at first glance it looked like a bunch of like weird glyphs because he just has terrible handwriting, but it turned out he was just writing down different letters, and apparently he tells us, well, just tell us, DJ.
So I was really dumb.
I was. Okay, we're back. What? So, what? I don't know. Is there a better way of doing this? Okay.
I have longer arms.
Our arms are the same. So basically, you got that nice profile there. Basically, we lost footage because Parker doesn't know how to record for more than an hour.
I'm still learning.
But let's just wrap this up. We were at where were we? It was
a knowledgeable tournament.
Yeah, we were at a knowledge. We just to recap for those who are just now coming in. We were at a knowledgeable tournament. Matthew Norvo, Matthew, which is not his last name. Matthew and I, we were actually competing. These two were in the back. We look back once it's over. Deej Malige right here. He was just beaming. He was really happy, and this is why.
Because I was I had a napkin. I was writing random stuff down, and I realized for a split second until I realized that this is not how it works. That if you replaced all the G's, you replaced all the G's in Hong Kong with K's. It was honk bonk.
Honk bonk. But obviously it isn't. Because I want to come here.
I'm not sure how you did that.
He's so unamused.
I just can't believe that.
And no one told me anything wrong. Like no one was like, "You're dumb" immediately. It was like 2 days later when we were like, "Wait, Hong Kong. It's on Hong Kong.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just set this up here for now. We don't have the mic, which is rather disappointing. But
Yeah, we could just.
thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
Just to summarize, we first began with AI, then we went to Andrew Jackson, then Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
But never Chappie.
Never Chappie, never
talk
Infinity
about
War.
What's Chappie?
Almost Alicia Keys. No politics.
No anime.
No anime.
Never anime.
Never anime. So,
Thank for that week.
DJ, can you, this is now a vlog, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. It was a lot of fun. We talked about a lot of stuff.
Wait. Oh, go ahead.
It's about
Podcast.
That's good.
Podcast. We're all here. Podcast.
Thank you for tuning in to the Amped Podcast.
Thank you.
We will see you next time.
Well, we
Actually,
promise.
you'll see us next time, but
You'll
we won't
see
see you
us.
next time.
Yeah.
We promise that production quality will go up.
Have a nice day.
Don't
gonna
make
be this
promises
bad.
you can't keep, Parker.